It's now time for Party Chat Sports.
The only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Welcome in, everybody. Yes, that was exciting. That was loud because we are here after a long off season. We made it. We have actual football that matters tonight. No more preseason, no more off-season draft and free agency and all this other stuff that we just sit here, act like we care about, but let's be for real. The only thing that we really care about starts tonight, and that is the playing of NFL football games. Welcome in, everybody, to Party Chat Sports. I'm Caleb Gill. We've got Drew Nelson. We've got Dylan Schroeder, and we've got a good episode on the way for you today, as this will drop Thursday, September 5th. Game 1, Chiefs, Ravens, tonight, kicking off the NFL football season. How's everybody feeling now that we can finally say the NFL is here?
Hype. Nothing but hype.
Great.
Drew was sending hype videos in our new TikTok group chat that they put on the app, and
There's like 100 of them, and they're all good.
yeah, every one of them had the hair standing on your arms.
I opened up TikTok and I have 14 unread messages from that one chat today, and they were all
12
banger
12
after
hype
banger
videos.
after banger. Let's get into what we have for you today. With the NFL season here, let's make some final predictions. So we are going to predict the MVP, Players of the Year, Rookies of the Year, and then let's also take it a step further and predict conference champions, and then, of course, your Super Bowl winner for the 2024-25 NFL season. We're going to make all those predictions tonight here at Party Chat Sports. Let's kick this off with, let's go offensive player. Let's go offensive player of the year, and I'll pull up the odds real quick so that everybody is kind of like, all right, who do the experts kind of predict could be leading for this award? So according to VegasInsider.com, that's where I'm pulling up all these. I didn't want to be partial to one sports betting site. Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill are both plus 750 for Offensive Player of the Year. CD Lamb plus 1,000. Justin Jefferson plus 1,200, along with Jamar Chase. Breece Hall also plus 1,200. Amon-Ra St. Brown plus 1,500. Bijan plus 1,600. And Saquon plus 2,200. Those are the favorites for Offensive Player of the Year. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be any of those players. So, what do you guys think walks away with the Offensive
Interesting
Player
there's
of the
no
Year?
quarterbacks there.
Usually, I think they do that on
quarterback's
purpose.
an MVP award, you know.
Yeah. Let's be real.
Yeah, but sometimes they give them both.
I want to say Patrick
the
Mahomes
quarterback,
is
which
one
is
both.
stupid.
While
I'll
we're
say
on
maybe-
this topic, before we dive super in, I heard something that, the NFL should do what baseball does and do an MVP and a Cy Young. So like call it like the Tom Brady award, and that's like the best quarterback, and then your MVP can be the best player. And that can be, offensive, defensive, or whatever, but bring in the Tom Brady award and just give it to your best quarterback, and make it like the Cy Young, and then that way the MVP can be a true award.
Well, that's what the MVP is supposed to be, but
But it's not.
In order for it to not be a quarterback award, you just have to eliminate the quarterbacks from the award.
Right, and give the quarterbacks their own award. And they kind of already do. The MVP is just the quarterback award, and then they do offensive, defensive player of the year, but it'd just be calling it a little something different. But anyways.
I would be against that. But who would be the...
Not to ruin our mojo, but
I mean, who is going to be the offensive player of the year, do you guys think?
I am going to put, if I was putting my money, just looking at those odds and, the 2023 voting, the favorites, obviously it's McCaffrey, and because he won it last year, he's the favorite this year. That team's unstoppable, but, something is in the air about Christian McCaffrey. It just feels like something's in the air.
Don't you put that voodoo on him?
I'm not putting no voodoo on something. I'm just saying he might not win it this year. I'm not saying why. And so with that being said, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill for my vote. I'm between Tyreek and CeeDee. I think those are your wide receiver 1 and 2 again this year. Wide receivers, are going to do well. CeeDee's going to get a lot of volume. If we ever get a Cowboys episode, I'm sure we'll hear about it. But Tyreek Hill with that offense, and even knowing how many weapons that Miami offense is going to have, it still might be like the best offense in the league from a scoring perspective. And Tyreek will still get his, because if you take Tyreek away, you just got to worry about all the other people. So, you can't really – it's very hard to game plan for that Dolphins offense. And he was amazing last year, so why can't he carry that into this year? But that'll be my vote. Tyreek Hill, Offensive Player of the Year.
Drew?
That's a good choice. I mean, if he doesn't get injured last year, he's on pace to break the single-season receiving yards record.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if any of these receivers break that, that's who the award's going to.
It's auto win, yeah.
And it will happen. It's not a matter of when or if; it's a matter of when. It probably should have happened last year. Tyree gets injured. I think Kupp was close a couple years ago. Unfortunately, Jay Jettas is not getting there. I say unfortunately for Cam, he's not here to defend himself, so I'll do it for him.
Well, CeeDee only had
Sam Darnold's not getting him to.
I'll be Cam for a quick sec and say Justin Jefferson is going to break all the records. MVP. All right, that's Cam. That's what Cam would say.
CeeDee last year was only 50 yards behind Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but Tyreek missed.
But he played all the games, right?
Like 2 or 3 games.
And the Dolphins offense
probably played all except for 1, maybe.
They kind of slowed down there at the end. Like once it started getting cold, it was like, all right, well.
Well, yeah, Miami can't play in the cold, but they're going to play. They're going to play in warm weather for a majority of the year, and that's where he's going to get all his yards. So
right.
But yeah, like I said, that's probably the smart pick. Obviously, it's hard to choose which one of them is going to do it, but I imagine we're getting close to the time that unfortunately Megatron's record's going to be taken. But I heard a name that was more interesting to me, and I'm going to choose it just for the sake of being different, I suppose. But like I said, if any receiver hits that record, it's done. And so doesn't matter what else happened.
That might be MVP as well, if that happens.
I like a little Bijan action there. I think he looked amazing when he actually got to touch the ball last year. He only got to touch the ball like 10 times though each game.
It's my OC.
So good luck with that, Dylan.
It's my OC.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So with a hopefully a full workload, we'll get to see an ideally perfect situation with the new Falcons situation, with the new quarterback and new head coach. Hopefully, it takes away a little bit of pressure from Bijan because Drake London's good, Kyle Pitts is good, Kirk Cousins is good enough to where you have to at least play a little pass defense. So let Bijan get out there and get freaky. He could be a Christian McCaffrey type producer in both rushing and receiving. So I'm gonna take a shot and I'm gonna go with Bijan here.
Well, Dalvin Cook, when he was one of the league's best running backs with Kirk Cousins next to him. So when Kirk Cousins has a good running back, they let that running back carry the ball. I do like Bijan.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. It was just quick.
It's good odds. So if I was placing a bet, it's worth a shot.
I'm looking at the odds. I like Brees Hall at 1,200. I think that's interesting.
I bet you do.
Jamar Chase at 1,200 as well. That's not bad
No.
because I really think that
Nah, he ain't
offense is
playing.
going to be.
He ain't playing.
He practiced.
He was at
He
practice.
was at practice.
Was he there in practice clothes or street clothes?
I don't think it mattered.
Pads.
Wow, it changes every day. It's hard to say, but
He was in pads on the field today.
But part of me thinks he's going to work
Well, yesterday,
extra hard
by the time this video comes out.
to get that one penny more than Justin Jefferson.
Did you see what Ayuk said
No.
today or recently?
No.
They played it on the radio this morning, and basically he was like, yeah, I made that way harder than it needed to be the last month or so. And then he was like,
thanks,
well,
guy.
Well, maybe the whole time, actually. But anyways, I'm good to go.
Thanks, guy.
So, yeah, that was a bunch of nothing.
What a dude. Yeah. Anyway.
There's a sleeper, too, that I was thinking, like Nico Collins kind of intrigues me as a potential off.
Crazy.
But Stephon Diggs being there has me scared. So I'm just going to take
Tank
another.
Dell, baby.
Yeah, Tank Dell season, man.
I'm going to take CD. I know he just got paid. I think it's more because of Dak, where Dak wants to get paid.
Right.
So he's just going to feed CD. So CD's going to get all the catches, all the yards to help inflate Dak's stats. And in turn, that's going to help
Who else
CD.
are you going to throw to? Who else are you going to throw to?
Is Brandon Cooks there?
We don't know. We don't know nothing about the Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
How do you not know? They're on TV every day, bro.
Nobody watches
Not my
TV
TV.
anymore.
Not on my YouTube stream.
It's on your Twitter. It's on everything.
But give me CD Lamb for Offensive Player of the Year. It's going to be a receiver. The only running backs that tend to do it now is dual threats, and with Christian McCaffrey winning last year, I don't think he wins back-to-back. So give me CD, and mostly because I think Dak is going to have a lot to prove, and CD is just going to be on the receiving end of that. No pun intended.
Nice.
It was good. It was a good pun, though.
On the defensive side of the ball, though, you're tied for first in odds with Micah Parsons and TJ Watt, both plus 550. You have Max Crosby at plus 700, Myles Garrett plus 800, Nick Bosa plus 900, Aiden Hutchinson plus 1,000, Chris Jones plus 25, Josh Allen plus 3, and Will Anderson Jr. plus 3,000 as well.
I got a lot to say about this.
I'm sure you do, so I'll just let you.
The winner of this award is going to be whoever breaks the sack record, finally. And if that doesn't happen, it'll just be Myles Garrett because no one knows what they're doing when no one watches ball or anything, and they try to drum up fake stats, but they don't actually watch it. Anyway, no, we're not going to dive into that conversation. We're not going to dive into that conversation. They're all great players. Micah, TJ, Crosby, and Garrett, I think those four. And if you want to throw in Nick Bosa, that's fine. But I think those four are in a tier of their own. At any given moment, any four of those players can completely take over a game. And if any four of those break the sack record, it's over. It's that unless someone breaks a pick six record again or something like that. Obviously, anytime you break a record, you're at a front runner. But it's going to be one of those four that does it. I'll of course throw my hat in the ring for TJ Watt. I think he's going to have a good year. Of course, barring that he stays healthy, I think he has a great shot of breaking the sack record. Again, I think they all have a good shot of breaking the sack record. Not to be too biased. I think all four of them have a good shot, but I'll put my hat in the ring with TJ Watt. Just with that Steelers defense, it didn't get any worse. It got a little bit better. He's got Alex Highsmith across from him. They got another guy that they're going to rotate in by the name of Nick Herbig, he's the next man up. He could be someone's number 2 on their team, and he's our number 3, so he's great. A D-line core that's really good and some linebackers behind them that are really good. And then the secondary, if they can hold on, he might even get a couple of free coverage sacks. It's bound to happen. So I'll throw my hat in there for – what's that?
Like against a tight end? You count those sacks in there?
Of course I do. And they go down in the record book. When the tight end chips him and then he rips past the right tackle, that counts, and that is a sack. Yes, thank you for pointing that out, Gil.
What about when it's one-on-one versus tight end?
That doesn't really happen that often, but people seem to.
All the time.
People think it does, but it does not happen.
It's
no
Mark Andrews. It's Mark Andrews versus TJ Watt every time I
Hold
watch
on.
those Steelers
Mark
play the
Andrews
Ravens.
is a really good blocking tight end, though. We'll give him that. And that's not my fault if the Ravens are stupid and they're going to do that. And he's going to get 3 sacks against Tyler Huntley because Lamar is too scared to play the Steelers. But nonetheless,
He's got belly problems.
who's got belly problems?
Lamar, dude, he's like sick with the flu every other week.
That he is. Anyway, it's T.J. Watt. Everyone knows that he should have won it last year too, but nonetheless. Any of the top 4, though, are good enough to deserve it.
Instead of saying my opinions on what you just said, I would just say Micah is going to win it.
Sure.
He's just so much more dynamic
than
any of these other players.
Sure. That's why he finished behind Garrett and T.J. Watt in last year.
He rushes the passer less, but wins more, which is a real stat, Dylan. If you would actually watch ball, you would understand why that's important. But anyways, with the little new defense, he's been moving around a little bit more. See him at linebacker
Hold on.
a little bit more than he was with Dan Quinn.
Bro. All right,
some good matchups against guards and centers.
This whole pressure rate, too.
Nice.
Pressure rate. Oh, I won against my guy, but it was still an 80-yard touchdown because I didn't get to the quarterback in time. No one cares about that. No one cares.
It's a good play for the defensive end.
It's not. Sorry.
It is.
Anyway.
You gotta think of context. It's
anyways, if Micah plays off ball and doesn't rush the passer, where's all his tackles? He still had less tackles than T.J. Watt. So.
Well, he didn't play off ball. I think you missed that part where I said he's going to this year.
Oh, so last year when he rushed less, what was he doing the rest of his time? It wasn't tackling people.
Off the field, hanging out.
Not playing. Then you don't deserve the award. No way. No thanks. Anyways.
Well, that's why he's winning this year.
Okay.
And because he's miles better than T.J. Watt. So.
This off-ball linebacker with 0 career interceptions, I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
Interceptions are not a defensive end stat.
They are for T.J. Watt. Big buddy. Look it up. Interceptions, forced fumbles. Learn
Most
something.
Most overrated player of all time.
Learn something.
We'll move on.
Mike
is winning.
All right. We need to get off the topic anyway. It's fine. We'll be here all night.
It's all right.
Good Lord.
I really want to.
TJ Watt go.
I really want to throw my hat in the ring.
Don't pick TJ Watt because award winners don't like the Steelers or award voters.
I wanted to throw my hat in the ring for a Jet.
They see through the overrated.
Yeah, they don't see nothing.
Really wanted to say Sauce Gardner, but it's very difficult for a corner to win a Defensive Player of the Year award. He's going into a year where he wants a big payday, so I could see him getting some Defensive Player of the Year votes. I like Max Crosby. He's just one of those top guys. Maction, have to go with that. The Raiders aren't going to be good, but somebody on the Raiders is going to be. And I think Max Crosby is going to be that guy. If he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, I think it's going to be because he falls into the same trap that Aaron Donald fell into, where teams just triple team him. So he has no chance of doing anything, except Aaron Donald was just God mode when that's
Aaron Donald did it anyway.
Yeah. He still did it.
Well, they've got Wilkins on the line now, so
that's going to help.
I can't
alleviate some of that pressure. They drafted
year 4 of the Tyree Wilson project, maybe.
That is a bust.
Buns.
It was getting tossed around by freaking Cowboys second stringers.
Where did he finish in sacks last year?
Probably last. I can't imagine he had more than one or two.
I think you mean Max Crosby, right? Not Tyree Wilson.
Yeah, Max Crosby.
I thought we were still talking about that bust.
14 and a half.
He was like, he was, year, so I think he was third.
No, he was 6th.
Yeah.
So yeah, T.J. Watt, Trey Hendrickson, Josh Hines Allen, apparently, Khalil Mack, Danielle Hunter, and then Max Crosby.
Josh Hines Allen, I forgot about that.
Yeah, when did he change that? He didn't want to be.
It was recent. It was recent.
Yeah, he didn't want everybody to keep mixing him up with Josh Allen, the quarterback. I think Max Crosby is going into that. He's a next man up. This Defensive Player of the Year award is almost a next man up kind of award. It's like, all right, who's here? We don't want to do repeats anymore unless it's Aaron Donald. So there's just a lot of things.
Is Aiden Hutchinson good enough?
No.
I think he is, but
he's an off-brand Nick Bosa.
He's
scrub.
He's not a scrub. I don't want to.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Just wanted to throw that out there.
He's about to get 5 hip drop tackle penalties a game.
I am worried about the Lions and penalties when it comes to some of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
how it
they're a
goes
dirty
down.
defense.
They're going to be very dirty.
Campbell
But give me
tells them
Ma-
to shoot for kneecaps. Anyway,
but give me Max Crosby for Defensive Player of the Year.
That's a good pick.
Let's stick with the
I'd pick it
defense.
if I didn't have Micah.
Let's stick with the defensive side of the ball for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So your favorites plus 400 is both Dallas Turner and Leatu Latu. And then plus 800 is Jared Verse. Plus 1,000 is Byron Murphy. Terrion Arnold is plus 1,400. Quinyon Mitchell and Chop Robinson both 1,500. Nate Wiggins and Peyton Wilson plus 3,000. For me, there's only one guy I'm really thinking of for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I'm going with the
Another
corner.
Maction guy.
I'm going with the corner. I'm
yeah,
staying with
he's
the
just
Max.
pure Maction.
It's
He's
pure Maction. Quinyon Mitchell, I still need to get that dude's jersey. I'm so glad he changed his number. But the hype that's coming up from some of the other Eagles players, Darius Slay talking him up, makes me very excited. And corners do win Defensive Rookie of the Year. This is an award that's easier for corners to win than Defensive Player of the Year. So I do see a corner winning it. Quinyon Mitchell, I think, is going to be him and Terrion Arnold are going to be two of the best corners from their class. Unless one of these edge rushers, like I could see it, Dallas Turner having a good season, but give me Quinyon Mitchell. He's going to see a lot of defensive snaps where he's going to be contested, going up against number one receivers. I mean, if he has a good game against CD, those odds are going to skyrocket for him. On the flip side, if he gives up 100 yards to CD, then he's going to be out of the running. But if he has a good game against some of those number one receivers, his odds, he's going to be a favorite pretty quick for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And call my shot. Give me Quinyon Mitchell for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I'm going to take Dallas Turner.
Go ahead.
You muted yourself, so it's my turn.
Do you hear me?
I hear you.
I do now. You were muted, though.
Okay.
But anyways, disregard that guy over there. Dallas Turner on the Vikings. We'll give Cam some support here. They traded away Hunter for, I forget, what's the guy's name from the Texans that they got for him?
Yeah,
Greenlaw?
Yeah. No.
No,
Um,
I don't remember. Either way, they need the Texans guy was pretty good on the Texans last year. We'll figure out his name in a few seconds, but Dallas Turner was in probably most people's minds, or at least a lot of people's minds, the best edge rusher, or at least one of the best in the draft. And I think it's a lot easier for edges to win
Greenard.
Defensive Rookie of the Year
Jonathan
and Defensive
Greenard.
Player of the Year in general.
I had green right.
Bernard.
The color.
Grenard.
You're close.
Grenard, something like that.
It's Grenard. Anyways, so they brought in two guys. Grenard was pretty good on the Texans, but I think Dallas Turner, obviously, being a rookie first, he's not exactly competing with Grenard, but on the same team, having two good edges, we'll come to see who offensive lines will, kind of lean towards as far as who they think is going to be better. If it's Grenard, then that obviously opens up Turner for to have a good season. But I think he will just in general, even if Grenard wasn't there and it was just any other defensive end, because like I mentioned before, he was good in college. I mentioned already he was one of the best, if not the best, edge prospect coming out. He was up there with Latu for one of the best. So I'm going to give it to him. As I already mentioned, I watched Latu play who probably was second for me in his preseason game. I wasn't blown away. His sack, his first sack was basically made by someone else, and they just gave him all the credit. So that rubbed me the wrong way. So now I'm picking Dallas Turner.
I guess I will go now. I think I agree. I think it's going to be an edge rusher. Corners can win it. but it's typically when an edge rusher doesn't have like a decent year, like a handful of sacks, like 6 to 9 sacks. It usually will get an edge rusher the rookie of the year. And then I'll just be different and say I'll say Latu or Chop Robinson. How about that? But I will throw a dark horse. I will touch on Peyton Wilson for a second. Plus 3,000. I'll be a little bit of a homer. Do I think he's going to win it? No, but I do think he's going to play a decent amount for the Steelers, and I think he's going to rack up like a ton of tackles. Maybe he'll have like one pick or something, and maybe a forced fumble, but like dude is just going to have like all the tackles in the world. Because he's going to be on nickel probably with Patrick Queen. And I think with Patrick Queen in the middle, it's just going to allow Peyton Wilson to run. So I think he's going to get a lot of tackles, and that may propel him up to be, probably a finalist for the award. Probably won't win it because it's not flashy, like getting 6 sacks in a season might be. That's it, though.
Very nice. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I'll go again.
Favorite. Favorites: Caleb Williams at plus 130, Jaden Daniels plus 500, Marvin Harrison Jr. plus 700, Bo Nix plus 900, Malik Neighbors plus 14, Drake May plus 16, Xavier Worthy plus 2,000, Keon Coleman plus 3,500, Brian Thomas Jr. plus 4,000. Again, this is all VegasInsider.com.
Yeah, I'll continue on with this. I think it's all Caleb Williams has to do is have like a full season, and he's going to win it. That's all he has to do. Jaden Daniels could do it if he has like, a lot of dual rushing stats and things. I just think he'll struggle too much, but I think it's Caleb Williams in the bag to lose, but I'm going to be different anyways and say Marvin Harrison, because I think he's going to ball out in Arizona and, might have a run at some rookie numbers. Probably not going to have like a Puka Nacua type year, but pretty darn close, I think, is a possibility. So I'll do that. I'll be different.
I'm going to be not different and just pick Caleb Williams.
That's also fair. Yeah.
They want to give it to the quarterback so bad, but like you said, it takes a pretty average year for a rookie to be in the conversation. And you look back like last year, Stroud was good. Don't get me wrong. But there was definitely some games and times where he wasn't.
The Jets
game. The Jets game. The Panthers, they lost to the freaking Panthers, man. A lot of people like to forget that happened.
Yeah, but that's not going to take away his award, though.
I'm just saying, like, it may not be perfect for Caleb Williams to get started, but it doesn't have to be.
Stroud did something no Chicago Bears quarterback has ever done before and threw for 4,000 yards. He also had 23 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. I'd say he had a really good rookie season. But I see what you're saying, though.
And with Caleb Williams, too, he's going to make his mistakes, but once a week we're probably going to see, like, NFL Twitter tweet out, like, oh, is that Mahomes-esque? And the amount of times that stuff is going to be brought up, it's going to be like, oh, look, Caleb Williams is Mahomes. So the AP voters are just going to be like, they're just going to put the 2 and 2 together with how often, even if Caleb Williams goes like 20 for 20, like 20 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, probably not going to happen. I'm just saying hypothetically, with how much hype we're going to get, I still see, a lot of people.
He may throw for 150 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick, but if he jukes out and spins the air and then throws a jump ball to Rome Odunze, who makes a cool catch, it's going to be on ESPN for a week.
Yep. And then it's like, oh, is he the next Patrick?
He only needs to average. I saw earlier, and I can't find it again, but he needs to average like 170 some yards a game to break the Bears passing record for the season.
That actually just makes you wonder
touchdowns,
how that has
touchdowns. It's like 0.6 or something a game. It's the bar's on the ground. Like, he has to be an average quarterback for most teams, and he'll be the best quarterback in Bears history. So
yeah,
and they have the roster to do it, which also helps his case over Jaden Daniels and other players because they actually tried this time other than what they did for Fields. They put a decent roster around him. So I just think it's too easy. Sorry to cut
What's
you
the
off
math?
there, Gil.
No, what's the math there? How many? What? It looked like you pulled out your calculator. You're muted.
This dude's struggling.
You're muted.
You're still muted. Come
Bro.
on, guys.
Dude, I'm not
Act
muting.
like we've done this before.
I'm not muting myself. I think I got two computers, all right? And I'm looking at the monitor for the one computer, but I'm typing in this one, and I'm messing everything up. So what I was doing, because I was just shocked, I was like, was Fields that bad? And he kind of was, because he only threw for 2,500 yards, even though he ran for 1,000. But, yeah, it's the Bears' all-time passing leader. I'm looking him up right now.
Is it Jake Cutler?
It's Jay Cutler who threw for – well, that's a career. The all-time season passing leader.
Eric Kramer.
Yes. And he threw for
3,000.
3,000. Yeah, 3,800 over, what is it, 18 games now or 17? 17.
220.
It's a little bit more than the
226.
179.
226 a game, and he'll do it, which is not that much.
No. It should have been that much, but
They've never done it. Mitch Trubisky almost did it in 2019.
what did he get?
Steelers legend.
3,115 games.
I
mean,
am.
Brian Greasy would have done it, and Jay Cutler and Nick Foles and Jim Miller and Jay Cutler again. A bunch of dudes would have done it in their yards per game, but they didn't play all the games. Eric Kramer's the only one to play 16. Or not the only one, but, he played all 16.
Gotcha. It's tough being a quarterback in Chicago. I really wanted to go Malik Neighbors here. I just think Daniel Jones is going to be so bad that
Probably,
Malik Neighbors is going to be like Devontae Adams from that clip of Jimmy G throwing the ball to him on the sideline. Like, I could really see Malik Neighbors not loving football this year, to put it in nice terms, with Daniel Jones being his quarterback. He'd be my pick with any other quarterback. But because Daniel Jones is Malik Neighbors' quarterback, I'm just going to go Caleb Williams. We could see a 2012 year where RG3, he had the rushing yards and he kind of electrified everybody. We could see that with Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, where Caleb Williams is a better quarterback, but Jaden Daniels had more electric type plays, leading him to win the award. But I still think Caleb Williams, all he has to do is be an average quarterback, and he's going to be just fine, especially with the pieces around him. Just be average. Average is fine. Caleb Williams. Do we want to do coach, or do we just want to get to MVP?
We got comeback, dog.
Oh, shoot, that's right. How could
I'm
I
skipping
forget?
coach, though, because coach
Aaron Rodgers.
Coach doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm not even going
Coach
to go
is
through
just
the odds.
whoever the youngest, newest coach is.
It'll be
that has
Harbaugh. It'll be
better than you
Harbaugh,
thought.
probably. It'll just
If
be Jim Harbaugh.
If Ravens have the first seed, it's going to be Harbaugh. If they don't have the first seed, it'll be the
Oh,
youngest.
the other
The
Harbaugh.
other Harbaugh,
Oh.
Mr. Gill.
The other Harbaugh, that's right.
If the Chargers have like a winning season, he's gonna win it because they went
This is true.
4 and something or 5 and something. So
This is true. Forgot
Hey,
about
Cole.
that
nobody
guy.
cares. Browns have 2-time Coach of the Year Kevin Stefanski, and they don't do anything ever, so it doesn't matter.
Comeback player of the year. I'm not
It's
going to go
Rodgers.
through everybody. All Rodgers has to do is play a full season.
Damar Hamlin again.
Back to back.
He's starting.
Starting safety
He's
for
starting.
the Bills.
Wow, is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they got nobody else.
Yeah.
It is Rodgers, though. I mean, here's the top 4. It's Rodgers plus 175, Burrow plus 250, Cousins plus 500, Anthony Richardson plus 800. If any of those 4 lead their team to a playoff, like a good playoff seed, they're going to win it. But if it comes down to like Burrow and Rodgers each do it, and like the Falcons win the South, like it's Rodgers. I mean, there's no way it's not. But he's
other
coming
one
back
that's-
from the ultimate laugh story.
The The one that's on Nick Chubb, right underneath Anthony Richardson there at plus 1,000. If Nick Chubb was starting the season, I could see that. But because he's starting the year on PUP, I don't think he's going to play enough games to really earn NFL comeback player.
I think he could come back and run for 1,000 yards, and it's still going to be Rodgers or Burrow because
He's going to be comeback player of the year on my fantasy team, though. That's for sure.
probably I got him on my IR. I snagged him in the family league.
Yeah, dude.
If Rodgers,
Anyways, yeah, it's got to be Rodgers, man. I mean, I didn't even think about Burrow necessarily, but first of all, Rodgers played 4 snaps.
Yep.
Absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry, Gil.
No, I've learned to laugh at it.
He has a chance to
That's
do the
it.
funniest thing of all time if he plays 3 this year.
The 5th snap,
Or 5.
though, the 5th snap is going to be like,
I am going to be until he completes a pass.
well, they play on Monday night again, right?
Yep.
And maybe get rid of the ball a little quicker this time.
Yeah.
Or throw it.
Rodgers. But
Just throw
anyways,
it, yeah.
Burrow did play last year at
He played
somewhat
most of
full
last
health.
year, I feel like.
Yeah, he
I
only
feel
missed
he was-
like the back half because the Bengals
Well, he
still had
missed-
a winning record. He missed the start because of his calf.
He missed the start.
That's right.
Then he played like 3 games, I think, maybe 4 games, and then got hurt again with his wrist.
No, I think he played more than that, but nonetheless, he played the middle of the season a decent amount. So
He
it's
started
not-
in 10 games.
Yeah,
Dang.
he played quite a bit. I think he may have only.
Get that bum out of comeback player of the year then.
Yeah,
How many did he
Disqualified.
finish? I don't remember, but he started
Well,
10
oh yeah,
games.
because he was when he first came back from the calf thing.
He, like,
he was
couldn't.
bad.
He couldn't move. Like he stood
He
there.
was very bad.
Yeah, he was awful.
And then he started to get a little bit more healthy, and that's kind of where I just wrote him off, I guess, when he was bad. And then he got a little bit healthier, and he was starting to do better, and then he hurt himself again. So I don't know. I think Rodgers has an easier path. I think that, well, obviously the odds have it that way as well.
There's a reason.
And taking the Jets to the playoffs, I mean, that should get you an award of some kind. So.
Somebody's getting an award if the Jets. Like, honestly,
that's coach of the year right there,
that's
Robert
what
Saleh.
I was just about to say. If the
Plus
Jets make it to the
1,800,
playoffs,
take that.
if the Jets make it to the playoffs, Robert Saleh is winning coach of the year. Aaron Rodgers winning comeback player of the year. Like, that's not even hyperbole. That's not even the fandom. That's
If
just.
I was
Aaron Rodgers MVP.
If I was Robert Saleh's kids, man, I would be praying for the playoffs so much because that's the rest of your inheritance for the rest of your life right there.
He's got 7 kids to.
Oh, dang,
He's
man,
a-
got busy.
Gonna need playoffs a few more times.
No
All
days off for him.
All right,
Aaron
MVP?
Rodgers.
All gas, no brakes.
No breaks indeed. All right, MVP. Patrick Mahomes plus 500. Josh Allen plus 850. Joe Burrow plus 900. CJ Stroud and Jalen Hurts. Bold plus 1,000. Jordan Love plus 1,400. 2023 MVP Lamar Jackson plus 1,600. Brock Purdy also plus 1,600. And then Dakota Prescott plus 1,800.
That's a steal.
I'm Drew. I want to know yours first. Who do you got for your MVP this year?
No, I don't think it's going to be Dak. Unfortunately, he got robbed last year.
Too much hate.
We all know too much hate, especially from the media. It is what it is. I think it's also hard to replicate MVP level seasons. Even great quarterbacks. I mean, there's a reason like Aaron Rodgers winning back to back was impressive, and stuff like that. So, who do I think is going to win though? I was kind of thinking Josh Allen. Here, let me say this. There's probably a quarterback like Josh Allen who will be the most valuable player on their team by far, but will have a worse record than someone else like, I don't know, Purdy or whoever, name your quarterback here, Burrow, Mahomes. He's not going to be better than Mahomes, but it's besides the point. Anyway, so I think Josh Allen will have a MVP-worthy season, but it'll probably go to, as we've seen in the last couple of years, at least last year, the quarterback on the best team at the last 2 to 3 weeks of the season. So whoever the best team is, maybe it's Jared Goff.
I don't know,
man.
He wasn't even on here, but that's not a
Let me get plus 3,000 odds Jared Goff. Putting a house on that.
You make an interesting point because we've all kind of written the Bills off. Like, I don't even know if they make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, Josh Allen definitely is a winning MVP. Even if he is an MVP, it's just he's going to have to do so much. He's going to have to put literally the entire team on his shoulders because there's nobody else around him that's going to be able to help him. So he could have an MVP caliber season. The other thing, too, with that, because he's going to have to carry everything, I could see his turnover numbers being high. And a lot of those being like fourth quarter turnovers. But you just look at the stats. So Josh Allen, because of the team around him, isn't going to win MVP when he probably should. So I definitely agree with that statement.
I didn't really make a final pick there, so
No.
let me reevaluate. I was just kind of naming people off.
I thought your final pick was Goff.
Well,
He
you
said
know,
plus
that's my
3,000.
betting. That's my betting pick because you know you got to take a shot on that. But realistic pick, let me go with. I could see Joe Burrow winning it on the back of the hype of him coming back, being healthy if he stays healthy. And what we talked about last week with the Bengals having a relatively easy schedule, or maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan. It was one of the easiest.
It is. It's top. It's number 6, I believe.
So I think he's in position with Jamar looking like he's coming back. He practiced yesterday. Now that as this is released on Thursday, so he should be back. With the only thing they lost on offense is Joe Mixon, but that doesn't really affect Burrow's stats too much. I mean, if the run game is just atrocious,
They got Chase Brown; they'll be okay.
So my official pick is Joe Burrow.
I don't hate that. Dylan?
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the list, and you know, there's some I'm definitely going to eliminate because here's how I look at it. Like we've already said, the MVP doesn't go to the most valuable player. Like last year, it was Dak. Last year it was Christian McCaffrey was the MVP, but Dak should have got the award anyways. But it's going to go to whoever has like the best winning season, unfortunately, and has the numbers to back it up. So like the Ravens, number 1 seed, Lamar had numbers to back it up, even though they were not as good as Dak's. And so he won it. So like I'm eliminating Josh Allen. You know, I'm eliminating Jordan Love. I'm eliminating Lamar because I don't think he's going to go back to back. You know, Joe Burrow obviously has the potential to do it. Mahomes obviously has the potential to do it. Jalen Hurts, I don't think is good enough he's not going to have – Eagles are due to implode at some point. So, you know, I'll put that out there. Dak, I don't think he's going to win it just on principle. He could throw for 5,000 yards. He's not going to win it because he's a Cowboy. And I hate to say this. I'll break it down to my money bet, and I hate to say this, is probably Brock Purdy because he'll probably just have good numbers and – because he's throwing to wide open Ayuk and doing shovel passes to Debo. Like he's not doing anything to deserve any of it. He's hitting wide open guys with plenty of time in the pocket. Yes, he'll make some good throws too. I'm not going to take it away from him. He's a fine NFL quarterback, but he's not an MVP. He's like the 5th most valuable player on his own team. So, but he's a good money odds to do it. But I'll go for Stroud just to be different. I think if the Texans go and they get like a number 2 seed and he throws for 4,000 more yards and 30-something touchdowns, he's going to have like excellent numbers. And if that Texas team, which is good, gets like a number 2 seed, I think that's a recipe for winning an MVP award. So that'll be my official pick.
I'm going to follow you up there. I'm going to say CJ Stroud as well. He's got a lot of hype. The Texans team has a lot of hype. They're going to get a lot of eyes this season. And if CJ Stroud performs, he's going to be that guy. He's going to win the award. The NFL is going to want to get their next young quarterback, rising star, an MVP award.
Yeah, they're going to want to give it to him so bad.
Joe Burrow's already kind of gone through that young star phase where he's a star, he's not a rising. So they're going to want to give it to the rising guy to help propel his status. I think CJ Stroud is going to have that caliber. It's going to come down to him and Joe Burrow, I think. and Stroud is just going to have maybe another win or two more, and maybe another game here or there that's a little better than Burrow's, that's going to separate the two. Do they play?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd be interesting to watch.
Did they play or will they play?
Will
they play?
Well, Texans didn't come last. And Dylan, are you playing the? You wouldn't
No.
be playing the.
we
South
played the South
primary.
last year, so no. They'll play in an AFC Championship,
Will they?
maybe.
Let's get right into that.
Hashtag
because-
segue.
Oh, look at you.
Thank you.
All right. I don't have betting odds or anything like that for conference championship games, so let's just go off of our hearts and our brains. And actually, I could probably pull it up, but
Yeah, I'm already mid route.
who do we
Yeah,
think?
so
Let's start with the AFC, since we're already kind of talking about.
pull up the
It's
NFC
just-
first.
Or we can talk about the NFC. Whatever's easier.
I pulled up the
You're
NFC first, so that's what we're doing.
Got it.
Yeah, I can just run through the odds real quick and then turn it over to you guys, and then I'll jump in whenever. But obviously, 49ers are first, plus 300, and there's a bunch of sports books on here, but I'm just looking at like the main one, BetMGM, but they're plus 300. Eagles are plus 550. Lions are plus 550. Packers and Cowboys each plus 750, and then you got a host of all the others, but Rams, Bears, Falcons, everybody else, they're all over 1,000.
Drew, what do you think?
Well, as a resident NFC fan, I will go first, I suppose. Pretty much go ahead and lock in the Niners. They're just too good, but I'm not done yet. You're gonna be excited. The second team will be the Detroit Lions,
Oh, rematch.
but it could be the Cowboys. Anyways, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
That audio
Listen,
quality was so
listen.
nice when you did that.
Listen. You well know there's a little curse for Super Bowl losing quarterbacks, right? Well, Niners can't make it. Eagles can't make it. Technically, the Lions cannot make it with Goff. I don't know how it works when you change teams.
Yeah, that might be
But-
that might change rules, but as far as we know, I think it locks you out.
It still
But
hasn't changed
if
anything.
it locks you out, guess who that leaves? That gives you the Jordan Love-led Packers or the Dak Prescott-led Cowboys. Maybe let's go.
What
Dak
happened
Prescott,
last year?
Cowboys
What
won the
happened
Super Bowl.
last year? What happened last year?
Listen, that was last year. This is this year.
Also, rules dictate that the Cowboys never win, and so they will not make it either.
Yeah, that could be true as well.
Or
So-
Matthew Stafford.
I like the
goes
Lions.
back.
No,
Stafford, I would love for that to happen. Their defense is so horrible, though, that it's not
Yeah,
I would
going
not.
to.
I would love for him to retire and just.
He needs to.
Go live a
Like, this has
normal
got to
life.
be his last
He won
year.
a Super Bowl. Like just be done.
It's going to be so sad watching
Anyways,
Stafford this
I think the Lions and Niners is probably the most realistic
Yeah,
matchup.
Do not put your money on the Eagles. There's just no way.
Yeah, Eagles. The Niners aren't making the Super Bowl. I've been saying it. It's just they can't. They're cursed now. Shanahan's a big choker. He cannot win. I mean, he's won championships before, but even if he makes it to the Super Bowl, he's going to lose. So, might as well let someone else give it a go. But Lions, Niners with the Lions winning is my guess.
So the Lions are your pick.
I'm giving it to them because I don't want to be that annoying Cowboys fan, And the Lions, they got Goff, who's technically disqualified but on a new team, so I'll give it to them. I'll let it slide until proven otherwise.
I mean, the NFC's starting to run out of quality quarterbacks to where it's going to have to
They
happen at
ain't
some
got
point.
many.
Yeah, that's
Where somebody's going back after they lose.
No.
No, there's still two more
Dak's
years.
gone.
There's still 2 more years, and then we will. Well, Dak will probably be in like the AFC or something after that, so we'll see.
He's
But
going to Vegas.
Yeah, he's a Raider.
anyway.
Dylan?
I guess I can pick. I think my pick is the 49ers, unfortunately, to go back for reasons previously stated. I talk all the crap about Brock Purdy in the world and how bad he is when they don't have the Avengers, but at the end of the day, they still have the Avengers. So I think they're going back. Unfortunately, it's just they're in one of those periods right now where they are paying their quarterback nothing and they're paying the rest of the roster everything. And so until that changes, they're going to be good. I don't have the Lions going back to the NFC Championship simply because I don't think they can replicate last year's success. It's a good roster, don't get me wrong, but I think last year they took a lot of people by surprise because it was like the first time they were good in like ever. Even the year before that, when they were good, they still had a losing record, I'm pretty sure, but they were playing hard.
Missed the playoffs.
Yeah, missed the playoffs. So I think last year they took a lot of people by surprise. I don't think that'll happen this year, and I think they will regress a little bit to the mean. I still think they're going to be good, make the playoffs, win the North. I don't have them going all the way. For as much as I said it, the Cowboys should be in this game. They should. There's no doubt about it. They should, but they're not going to for one reason or another, and that's just the unfortunate truth of it. And it's going to force me to pick the Packers. And I think the Packers suck, and I think Jordan Love is not good. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I've said all these things, but I think they're going to scrape by in a wild card game against like the Eagles or the Cowboys or something, and then they're gonna get a matchup favorable, and then they'll play at Lambeau or something, and they'll win a game and something stupid. So whatever.
They're wild card. They'll be on the road, so say they'll be at
they'll be at Philly.
NFC
Philly will find a way to mess that up, or they'll be in Atlanta and they're gonna win that game. So, yeah, I don't know, but like I said, the Cowboys should be in the NFC Championship game. They should. I just don't trust them. Sorry, Drew.
That's okay.
I got the Lions going to the NFC Championship game. If they lost Ben Johnson, I'd be more scared. I think him returning, they still have most of the offensive pieces. Another year in that system. Probably the last year with Ben Johnson. He's getting closer to becoming a head coach. I think they're going to capitalize on that. And then the question comes down to who is that other team? Who is going to play in Detroit? Because I'm pretty sure I took Detroit as a 1 seed. So it's going to be who's going to play in Detroit. Do they get the rematch against the 49ers? Do they get Philadelphia out there? Do they get Dallas? Is it another Matthew Stafford reunion? Is it an NFC North matchup?
I want it to be the Cowboys. Sorry to jump in again, but I want that game to be the Cowboys. I want the Cowboys to go into Detroit and just do a slugfest. That would be so fun to watch, but they can't do it. Sorry.
It'd be so fun.
It's happening. It's happening this year, Dylan. Just for you.
I don't know why I'm asking for it so bad. I don't know.
But to be different,
we'll do it for you, Dylan.
Steelers and Cowboys have this mutual respect of old rivalry and greatness. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
So I got Lions.
Because everybody hates us because they ain't us,
This is true. This is true.
Do I
Super Bowls in the cabinet.
I really wanted to go Eagles, but I think they're going to fold once they get to the playoffs next year. So give me the 49ers. It's going to be an NFC Championship game rematch. It's going to be another good game. And then I got the Lions advancing to the Super Bowl.
Nice.
They have a quarterback that's been there.
Oh, yeah.
Scored a whole 3 points when he was there, but
he got there. And that was against
he did get there.
That was against Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Yeah, the winning team of that game had 13, so
right.
It's not like one of Brady's masterclass freaking luck jobs.
That was such a forgettable year.
Anyways,
yeah.
We
over
were
to the AFC.
Pause, just because that year we should have had Rams Chiefs, or we should have had Drew Brees versus Tom Brady that year.
I'm also fairly confident that was like a Steelers were super good year. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was the Duck Hodges year. I can't remember.
18. I think it would have been 2018. Was that the last year of? No, that was the Bell holdout year.
You
'Cause
lose to the Browns.
2018 was Le'Veon's holdout year, wasn't it? I think it was that year.
I'm looking it up. But regardless, yeah, the passing that was Big Ben threw for 5,000 yards that season,
Holy hell!
Oh,
and they went,
Juju,
not too bad.
but they went
Antonio.
9-6-1,
That's right.
and they missed the playoffs. I remember this. I think it was a rookie Baker Mayfield. They needed him to win against the Ravens or something, and they had a last-second drive, and nonetheless, they lost to so many bad teams that season. It was ridiculous. Anyway, doesn't matter.
All right, let's go to the AFC, where I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult trying to find a matchup.
Yes. They were 7-3. Sorry, they were 7-3, and they went 2-6 to finish the season, or something like that.
2-6-1.
Anyway,
There's a lot more quality teams here in the AFC, so I am curious to see who you guys got making it to the AFC title game and then winning the AFC title game.
Well, the Chiefs are getting there, just
you want to hear the odds?
out of principle. No,
Okay.
no, you can tell us. I don't need to hear the odds. No, the Chiefs are going to be there. But you can tell us anyway.
BetMGM, Chiefs 325, Ravens 550, Bengals 700, Texans 800, Bills 850, Jets 900, Dolphins 1,200, Browns 1,600, Chargers and Steelers 2,200. Everybody else worse.
So yeah, the Chiefs are a lock until either something happens, like an unfortunate injury, or someone gets lucky. But I mean, they've been there. It's been in Arrowhead like every year for the last 4 years or something like that.
Last year was
yeah.
Well, not last year.
Last
it was
year.
in
It was
Baltimore.
it was like 6 years in a row though. It went through Arrowhead.
But before that, I suppose. Yeah.
Like Mahomes had never played in an
Either
AFC
way.
championship that wasn't in Arrowhead, and he went to like 5 in a row.
He didn't play
Yeah.
a road playoff game.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance, I would say, based on the history, that they're there. So that one's a given. Second, though, who's going to make it? In my rankings, I had what did I have? I had the Texans at the 2 seed. I had the Bengals were up there at either 3 or 4. I could see a little Mahomes Burrow rematch. I think for one, the NFL would greatly enjoy that matchup for ratings purposes, and the little rivalry they're trying to force. They're trying to give Mahomes a rival of some kind, whether it's Burrow or Allen. Allen has the talent to compete, but he doesn't have the team. Joe Burrow has, I would say, less talent than both those two, but the better team, at least between the Bengals and the Bills. I'm going to be boring and just say Chiefs-Bengals because the Bengals have an easy season. I don't think it's going to matter once they get into the playoffs. They'll still be a good roster who should hopefully not be as beat up because they're playing some scrubs. So
I don't want no scrubs.
Chiefs winning though. Chiefs winning though for sure. They're going for the three-peat, whether they win it or not, but they're gonna attempt.
So you got the Lions
Gonna be there.
trying to prevent the Chiefs from the three-peat.
Yep. They beat them week 1 last year.
I would hate to watch that game if I'm being honest.
Dylan, who you got?
Cool.
I also have the Chiefs going to the for reasons said. There's no reason not to pick them unless something unforeseen happens, like i.e. in the middle of Tom Brady's run, he had a year where he tore an ACL, and then there was newcomers in the block that year that were able to actually host an AFC championship and do stuff. But no, I think it's going to be the Chiefs, and I think it will be the Texans playing them. I think MVP Stroud will be the rival that CBS or the NFL Network will prop up next. Tony Romo will be like, Jim, we're going to watch these two for the next 10 years, and it'll be the next one. And I've said it over and over again. Chiefs, Bengals, Texans, those are going to be teams you're going to talk about for a while. Bills were one of those teams. I think the Texans are replacing the Bills, and I think the Texans are going to make it. And I have the Texans winning and going to the Super Bowl to face the 49ers.
That'd be fun.
A la year 2 Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals.
I like it. I like it. I have the Chiefs not making it to the AFC Championship game.
Good. I like it.
You're a hater.
No, it's
Yep.
okay. I like it. It's fine. Who's beating them, though?
That's a question. I don't.
That's a good question.
I got the teams.
He doesn't know that part yet, but it's happening.
I don't know who they're going to play. I don't know. How's it all going to unfold? It's either going to be the Bengals or the Texans because those are my 2 AFC Championship teams. I've got the MVP and the MVP runner-up facing off against each other in the AFC Championship game. Got the MVP and CJ Stroud and the runner-up Joe Burrow in that AFC title game. A lot of hype, a lot of offensive firepower.
Who's at home? I feel like you would have already picked this, but I think you picked Bengals.
I'm trying to think who I had as a number 1 seed from last week.
I think you had Texans pretty high.
I know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Anyways,
I think I had the Texans higher because I was worried about the Bengals conference. So I think Texans, based off of how I seeded the playoffs last year, it'd be in Houston. How often do we see an MVP in the Super Bowl, though? That's not Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady.
Matt Ryan.
And he lost. It's an MVP in Super Bowls. It's not a marriage. It's more of a, like, they avoid each other. So, with that said, even though CJ Stroud's going to win the MVP, I've got Joe Burrow going back to the Super Bowl to face off against the Detroit Lions, breaking the curse of the first Super Bowl appearance loss quarterbacks making it back. Because we're going to see 2 quarterbacks in this year's Super Bowl that both lost their first Super Bowl appearance.
All right.
Yeah.
Now
So,
let's talk.
I don't know.
So I guess, talk Super Bowl.
Let's talk Super Bowl.
My Super Bowl matchup is the Lions versus the Chiefs. Again, Lions. Well, little asterisks next to it. I'm still keeping the door open for my boys. Anyways, I just think it's going to be so hard to three-peat. It's never been done before.
Neither has the Lions winning a Super Bowl.
If they do,
Or going to a Super Bowl.
So 2 things that have never been done before. So it will be a good matchup, Dylan, you hater. Anyways, if the Chiefs win, I think Brady's legacy is in trouble. It's much more rivaled than
it's
even if they lose this year and win next year.
Yeah,
or vice versa. If they win this year and don't win it next year, he'll have a better case against Brady than if they were to lose and then win next year.
Yeah,
the
he'd be a 4-time Super Bowl
never been done
champion.
before, even by Brady in the dynasty.
4-time champion by the time he's 29 or 30, however old
with
he
a
is.
three-peat. How many MVPs in there? Like,
Oh my gosh!
So I want to see that, but I also would like to see the Lions win a Super Bowl. I think it'd be cool. Have we seen any first-time winners in our lifetime?
Eagles.
No. Eagles. That was
2015.
Don't get me started on that one. That was fraudulent.
Block that one out of his memory.
Yeah, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, man. That's fake. That didn't happen.
Technically, in our lifetime, the Ravens won it
Buccaneers?
twice.
Was it Buccaneers? Also, technically, in our lifetime,
Yeah,
they've
I
won it
guess.
twice.
The Buccaneers won before us.
Did they? I thought they only won
Didn't
in
they have one
04.
in the, or was it like early 2000s?
I thought it was like-
I thought it was in the 90s.
It was
I guess
no,
it wouldn't have
it
been.
It was
It
like
would've been
02
early.
or something.
Yeah, it was our lifetime because it was against the Raiders when Jerry Rice was in Oakland.
Okay, so it has happened.
But it's
It's
due.
not when we were old enough to pay attention.
But it's due. It's due.
It's due. I would like to see the Lions win, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs just because it would be cool.
I like it. I like it.
And I'm all for taking down Tom Brady and his legacy that was built on fraudulence. So, anyway.
Amen, brother.
So my
Dylan?
next, I think so. My matchup's what 49ers and Texans.
Yep.
So interesting, because you have the school of thought of the QB returning to the Super Bowl, so that would have already broken. But then returning and potentially winning is a whole nother conversation. I would hate to watch the Lions Chiefs just because I would have to turn off Twitter because there'd be too many people talking about it. That we know. I'd have to turn it off. And then if the Chiefs win again, it's gonna feel like another season wasted. like we didn't even have to do all this. We could have just gave it to the Chiefs and moved on to 2025. So I don't want to see that. So if we have 49ers Texans, I'll be happy.
If that
I'll
happens,
be rooting for the Texans.
That happens, Travis Kelce's getting on stage and giving
Probably.
Taylor
And I don't need to watch that. I don't need to watch that. And it's just gonna feel like we accomplished nothing. It's going to feel like we accomplished nothing. And we went sideways in the timeline. Anyway, 49ers Texans. I have CJ Stroud going to the Super Bowl as the MVP and continuing the streak of never returning. I have the 49ers winning. But then I'm also, the streak is broken, but it's restarted. But it's restarted. Is restarted. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I switch it up and I say, yeah, like I said, nobody can return on the NFC side, so it's got to happen. Unless Rodgers can do it with the Jets. But anyways, yeah, Texans, I have you losing to the 49ers because I just think the 49ers are so good and they are due because they've gone a couple times now and they keep falling up short. I think
Shanna choker.
They've gone in our adult lifetime 3 times. Against the Ravens many years ago, Chiefs twice.
Yeah.
So this will be their 4th shot at it. They're either going to be our version of the Bills or they're finally going to do it.
Shanahan was there with the Falcons. We know what happened then.
Yeah, I mean
Just can't get it done.
It feels like they should. But again, I keep saying should. It feels like the Cowboys should. So, F it. Texans are winning.
That's right.
Texans are winning in the streak. And I don't know what happens to the rules and the streaks. Go Texans.
Well, it ended when the Niners made the Super Bowl. So either way, you ended it.
You ended it by having.
Well, clearly my scenario is not happening. So it's against the rules.
Fingers crossed.
My scenario is going to break the entire timeline.
Jordan Love versus Texans.
Going to break the entire timeline when we have 2 quarterbacks who have already lost the Super Bowl returning to the Super Bowl, but we also have 2 teams that have never won a Super Bowl in the Lions and the Bengals.
Wow.
So
cool.
We're getting a couple streaks.
Cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. In this area
That'd be
is
the worst. Oh, I can't see the Bengals in the Super Bowl, dude. Oh my gosh. It was already
so
bad the first time. No, I'm turning off my phone and I'm going overseas or something. I'm not watching that game. Golly, that would suck.
It's going to really suck when I pick the Bengals to win it all. I think Joe Burrow does get a ring at some point. I think this is the year he gets the ring. It's going to break a lot of Lions fans' hearts, but I've been a big Joe believer.
They're hanging the banner, dude. They're hanging a banner for
Super Bowl appearance. 100% they are.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Super Bowl appearance,
and that's
baby.
okay. Like, go for it.
I want a Super Bowl appearance banner. I'll take that. I would take that.
Honestly, yeah.
You have a banner, though.
We do.
You have a banner.
We do.
Yeah.
So
Super Bowl 3.
You don't need the participation award.
But I've been on the Joe Burrow hype train most of the offseason. I'm trying to stay consistent with the way I'm picking. I took the Bengals.
I do think he will not be the same player that he was. But that might be that might be good enough, though. So,
and I just think there's the talent there with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It kind of feels like a last dance where they're both they're both wanting huge money, so they got to go ball out this year. Joe Burrow's going to spread the ball around the yard and go have some fun with their schedule. They're going to get there. They're going to have an easier path there, and then once they make it into the playoffs. Joe Shiesty, baby. Give me the Bengals beating the Lions.
Slim Shiesty.
He ain't been Joe Shiesty in 2 years, man.
He's Slim Shiesty.
He's slim. That scares me. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that bleached hair is going
He
to do
was-
wonders or if he's going to
listen.
now just fall off the face of the earth.
He was Joe Burr for one NFL season. The other 2 NFL seasons, he has been Joe injured. So
If he doesn't get injured, I mean, if he's when
yeah, but how many
seasons
times
he
can you
doesn't
say
get
that
injured.
until the player's not the same? I don't know. I don't
I'm
want
just
to. I
saying,
don't want to open up a
in
new
the years that he
conversation.
doesn't get injured, in the years he doesn't get injured, makes it pretty far.
Is this year 5, Joe Burrow?
I feel like it's year 4 because he just signed the extension, right? Or was that last year? I don't remember.
2020.
I feel like it's
It
year
was
5.
2020.
Year one,
20,
he got hurt.
21.
Year 2, they went to the Super Bowl. Year 3, he lost in the AFC Championship.
Five.
And
This is
last year was year 4.
This is year 5.
So
Big brain.
Look at us figuring that out. And look at
We
us.
try.
We all have different teams. We're all different here at Party Chat Sports, and there's a good chance that none of us are right in anything that we predicted here today, but doesn't matter. I've got the Bengals winning it all.
doesn't matter. We get to watch football tonight.
And tonight, we're going to watch the
Heck yeah,
MVP
dude.
of last year.
We've got 4 days of 4.
How dumb
4
is
days
it?
of NFL football this week.
How dumb is it
Oh yeah, because they got
that
the Friday
the
game.
NFL
don't
is
they?
going to Brazil?
Yeah,
Yeah,
The NFL is going to Brazil
it's
and
cool.
a
Other
stadium
than like,
that doesn't allow the color green, and they
And it's
pick
2 green teams.
teams
Yeah,
that
that's
have green.
pretty stupid. That was pretty dumb.
Eagles wearing black,
Are they?
wearing their black helmets and
Yeah.
They have
wearing
to.
white jerseys, but
Well,
black
I
pants.
think the Packers are wearing green, but just barely. They're going to wear their whites, but like it's
Yeah.
got a little bit of green in it. So we'll see.
They're,
Anyways,
the teams are
a lot
not
of
bringing their
football.
friends or family down there.
Thursday,
because of-
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's 5 days straight football. That
Good
all
maths.
matters.
Yeah,
We're back.
We made it.
Saturday's
We
college.
are-
We got Texas, Michigan this week, so it's gonna be a good weekend.
Is it?
Can't wait. Yeah.
Is
What
it?
do you mean? Is it? It's gonna be great.
for Tex-
NFL's
I-
back. What do
You
you-
mentioned the Michigan-Texas game. They had me like, is that
Oh.
really going to be?
No, Texas is blowing
No.
the doors off them for sure.
that-
Yeah,
is-
I think so. Yeah, unfortunately. So
Do we got any other matchups that are worthwhile? Georgia and Tennessee Tech.
Who gives
Wow.
a shit?
Iowa State. That could be like 10-3.
I was back, man.
Uh,
Got an offense.
Tennessee, NC State. That's a ranked matchup. Ohio State facing nobody again. Yeah, there's really not much going on in week 2 except for that game, but it'll be fun nonetheless.
And even that game is.
At the end of the day, it's football, man. I'm not
It's
going to
football.
complain about it.
We are back. Let's go. I'm hype.
Me too. I'm happy for you, Gil.
We made it, boys. We made it. Thank you,
Who's winning
everybody.
tonight? I got Chiefs.
Ooh. Chiefs.
Ravens. Chiefs don't do well in week 1.
That's true.
That's true. That's very true. I don't hate that.
Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown score.
That's a lock.
It's a lock.
Good bet.
Put it in the
Too
put it in the
bad.
parlay, Gil.
It's going to be too late.
Oh, you're right.
I would if it wasn't going to be too late. Speaking of which, make sure this season you stay tuned to the feed. Dylan's got a stock up, stock down episode that he just put up this week. I'm going to get our first parlay of the week episode, probably Friday, Saturday, later on this week, so that by Sunday you have our picks to make for your parlays as you're setting those up. But thank you everybody for listening, for tuning in. Just tune in throughout the entire season here at Party Chat Sport. Keep up to date with everything we're doing on Twitter at Party Chat Sport. Go follow our TikTok, like those, share those. We've got some good ones. Again, guess where? At Party Chat Sport on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, all at Party Chat Sport. Have a great week 1. We're here. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy this while it lasts. Have a good evening, everybody. Peace.
Cowboys winning the Super Bowl.
Go Steelers.